tournaments. Just 3 years before, I was still recovering from an accident and in a hospital bed. I mean, I felt I'm out there. I can do anything. I started dreaming bigger. I never thought I could be a world champion, but I decided that I want to be trained by the best of coaches. I want to be trained by the best of people. So I started looking out for that. In 2017 and in 2018, I got an opportunity to meet Gopi sir, and by then I had achieved a few titles on my name. I asked, I requested the Indian national coach Gopi sir to train me, and he's like, Mansi, I have not trained para athletes. I don't even know how to train para athletes, but I assure you that I can provide you best of facilities and coaches. If you can tell us how to train you, then we will be training you. I said, yes, I know how to train myself. I just know I just don't have the skills. You have the skills. I know what is my limits and how much I can push it. And trust me, the limit that I had on day one, I mean, right now it's like a stepping stone. It was just nothing. I used to feel that was a limit I can't cross, but everyday effort, 7 to 8 hours of training, multiple sessions in a day, I think that gave me an opportunity to rise up ranks, develop skills in sports. So it's not just disability; it's developing skills also, developing your movements also. So it's a mix of so many things, and you also should know what are your limits because there's very less study done in the field of para sports, amputation, prosthetics that we are using currently are only made to go forward, like they're made for walking and running. But the sport that I play, you have to move sideways, you have to move backwards.
Very quickly.
Yeah, and that too in the split of seconds. So I don't use a knee because knees are still not advanced or innovation in the field of knees are still not done to move backwards. So I use a prosthetic for walking, I use another prosthetic for playing badminton, I have another prosthetic for running. So I carry three different set of legs when I want to play the sport. But yeah, I mean, there are a lot of intricacies, a lot of innovation that are required in the field and once we have that, I think it's like going to the moon. It's or from going from moon to going to Mars. It's like that. It's just the same.
I think we were talking about how we should have more movies on Indian freedom fighters, women freedom fighters. I think we need some movies on our para athletes also because their stories are so inspiring. They really teach you something. We take life for granted so many times, and when you come across these inspiring stories, these journeys our athletes, our people have gone through, it really I would say enlighten something or it really sparks something in me at least. So I would say we need some more movies on para athletes as well. And that comes to my next question. Mainstream media does not cover a lot of para sports, but slowly it is changing. We saw very good coverage this time of para Olympics. What is something that you would like to see for yourselves? How do we make improvements in that?
So I love how media talks about sports, and we always have this sports column. And while growing up, I used to always open the sports column first and see, okay, इंडिया ने क्या परफॉर्म किया एथलीट्स ने क्या परफॉर्म किया आई बीन फॉलोइंग स्पोर्ट्स न्यूज थ्रू आउट and once I became a sports person, I always wanted that I also get a chance to feature on the same sports page. Fortunately, I definitely got a chance. But what happens is the coverage that happens around people with disabilities. I still know, I mean, I remember in my 2019 World Championship board, the media people would be always telling me, आप आपका full picture दीजिए, full length picture दीजिए. And that is to showcase my disability. And I used to give headshot or medal pictures, and I said, "आप ये pictures we put कीजिए," because I want to change perception around how people view disabilities. It's not. I don't want people to remember me by my disability. I want people to remember me by my face. And I mean, it's a very small kind of revolution that I want media to do because we get this Sunday columns or we get this middle page where people do talk about like our journey from front to end, and we really like every athlete wants people to know their journey, which gives a very good fan base also. But usually we end up only on those inspirational columns. But I don't want to be called inspirational because I just happen to have a disability. I want to be called inspirational because I achieved something in the field of sports. I became a world number one. I became a world champion. So I want people to talk about my sports journey also. People talking about my skills, how beautiful my smashes are, or how intricate my drops are, or how difficult the movement I am doing. But I want people to talk about that. I think social media is one of the biggest fools. I mean, media is doing their own job, and they are definitely now have put us in sports coverage. You see the recent Paralympics. All the gold medalists were not in the sports column; they were in the headlines. They were on the first page. So this is the change we are seeing, and in future, this is only going to go to the next level. But social media, I feel, is in our hand. How we perceive ourselves, how we change, how things. I mean, I love using Twitter and Instagram or all other LinkedIn per se to talk about my journey and build my own narrative in the way I want people to talk about me instead of how they perceive. Because आप मेरे headlines देखेंगे ना, especially कोई भी जगह पर रहेगा a girl on single leg defeating और अपनी destinies मतलब talking about disability and achieve
Trying to highlight that more than actually your
I was
achievement.
correct. So with time, I definitely see a change. We see now Sumit Antal world record break. Now we see these news, and we need that kind of news. And how do you create new fan base? You create new fans for the sport when you give data, when you give more information, and when you talk about their success in the columns that they deserve to be. And that is what I want from media, and actually media is doing.
I would really request Mansi, please keep sharing your stories. I think it really, people feel if they do get hurt, they will get uplifted, they will see that if she is able to do it or so many other athletes are able to do it, even I can. So please keep sharing your story, it's very, very important. You had a heartbreaking loss at this year's Olympics as well. What were your first thoughts and emotions when you saw other para athletes performing so well at the Olympic Games?
I'm very happy for my colleagues who have been doing amazing at Paralympics. India won 29 medals. Five came from badminton, so I'm very happy for my badminton players for awesome performance. So for me, it was very difficult. I lost in group round. Before this tournament, I had never ever come home without a medal. So for me, it was a huge loss. It's been less than a month since we have come back, and I'm still trying to process the loss. I'm understanding like what next, what are my plans, and because now we have till in last 10 years I have followed a structure, especially last 4 years before the games. We were following a complete structure. We had a proper plan, a day. I last year I played around 13 tournaments for qualification for Paralympics. It's like every month I was traveling for a tournament. I was not able to give time to any of the activity. All I was doing was getting up, go for training, come back home, have lunch, sleep for 2 hours, again go back for training, come back home, have dinner, and sleep. That was my daily routine in last 4.5, 5 years. And now that I don't have a structure, I still feel up kya karna hai. So now when I said, "Aap aayenge," I say, "Okay, I'm free." So yeah, I mean, it is heartbreaking, but then this is how sports is. I have been through so many heartbreaks that losing a match definitely is. If there is a level, then I'll put it into a low level. I really wanted to win a medal. My body was ready, my mind was ready. I was completely in for getting a medal. But then sports is also about accepting a loss and coming back stronger. And that is what has taught me to do great in life. And I hope this will be a stepping stone again to do something better in the future.
You have proven that time and again, and I'm sure at the next tournament we'll see you with another medal. We really hope India needs that. You have used your reputation to be the voice of people with disability. Any advice that you have for education institutes or corporates, what role they can play to improve or do something more in para athletes or do something more for them? Any advice that you feel? Because it has started. It has definitely started, but anything that you feel more can be done or more what we should be doing.
There's so much that can be done. The first step that any organization, be it school, college, or corporate, definitely, the first step is be an ally for everyone. Now, when in India we do have reservations, which is caste-based, and of course we have reservations for people with disabilities. But the amount of reservations that we have right now is just 4%. Now, as per We the 15 movement, the amount of people who are living with disabilities, it is around 10 to 15% of a country's population, which is a very big number. Uh, in India, we have a 4% reservation because the past Rights for People with Disability Act had were recognizing only 4 to 5 type of disabilities. But since RPWD 2016, total of 22 new disabilities have been recognized. Now, including thalassemia, acid attack victims, etc. What we want is organizations understand that inclusion is the need of the hour. It is not कि हम अलग हैं. People think कि जिनको disability होता है उसके बाद उनमें कुछ special power आ जाता है. And that is a very general belief in our country कि इनकी आँखें नहीं ये देख नहीं सकते हैं तो इनका touch का perception बढ़ जाता है. That's not true. My friends with blindness they say कि they feel excluded. When we have to give OTP for our card, previously we used to put in numbers, but now all numbers are jumbled up on a screen. Now technology advance हो रहा है, but are we considering all the people? तो अगर हम इंक्लूसिव नहीं हैं, हम हर सेक्शन ऑफ सोसाइटी को कंसिडर नहीं कर रहे हैं चल आगे बढ़ने के लिए, then we are missing out on so many things. Here we have Saket, who is a social entrepreneur and who is doing some amazing work in the field of startups. And we need more and more people like him to be pushed ahead and grow their businesses, grow their ideas, be an ally. First thing I'll tell our organization, don't other us thinking कि हमारे पास कोई special power है क्योंकि हमारे पास कोई special power नहीं है. I became a person with disability because of system the issues. I could have, I wish I didn't have to go through an accident. I didn't have to, I don't like sitting on the stage and talk about the हमें equity चाहिए. I don't want to do that. I want to lead in a very normal life like all of you. But then, if we don't do it, then who? And I would request organizations to hire more people with disabilities on, and not because we happen to have disabilities, but because of our merit. Do small whatever reasonable accommodation that needs to be done. If a ramp needs to be built in your organization, be proactive in your company कि हमारे entrance पे ramp होना चाहिए. Make sure you have lifts in your organization. Now, when you give these facilities, it's not facilities actually. These are just basic requirements.